Palace Square in Leningrad. It's a grand space rich with history, or more accurately, histories. Because in the fight this month about whether to change the name of Leningrad back to its historic name of St. Petersburg, it didn't take Nick long to find out that Palace Square had become a battleground of historical and cultural symbols. Palace Square was the rallying point for the forces who want to reclaim the name of St. Petersburg. For them, the square represents the city's illustrious past. In its center stands the traditional symbol of St. Petersburg, the guardian angel on top of Alexander Column. The square, the column, the old winter palace are all strong ties to the world of the czars. But also holding rallies here were the communists. To them, the Palace Square represents not the city of Peter the Great, but the city of revolution, the city of Lenin. It was here on Palace Square, first in 1905 and then in 1917, that the Russian people revolted. To old-line communists, especially those who remember the siege of Leningrad in World War II, the square is the birthplace of the Soviet Union. Each day when Nick arrived at Palace Square, there was a demonstration on the name change referendum. The first day, a small group of Boris Yeltsin supporters braved the weather to hold a rally in support of historic St. Petersburg.
I want to remind you, those of you who lived through the horrors of the last World War, the siege, the heavy fate, the history began not in 1917, not in 1941, but the history of our city began at the start of the 18th century. The city named after the Apostle Peter is 211 years old, and its people didn't just build the city, but died willingly for the city. And so we need to refer to more than our short contemporary memory, but to our historical memory.
You look carefully at the poster of his position. Who's for St. Petersburg? Democratic Russia. Yeltsin, the mayor, Sobchak. Who's the old guard that wants to hang on to the name Leningrad? Well, here he is, Gorbachev.
Later, the square was a platform for monarchists, conservative supporters of a return to the name of St. Petersburg. Many wearing the military uniform of Tsarist Russia, supporters listened to traditional songs. But the week's biggest rally in the square belonged to the forces who support keeping the name of Leningrad. One speaker read a poem in honor of Lenin.
I came to Lenin at the square. On his birthday, I brought carnations. People, people, where is your soul? Not to recognize him.
And you can see from the general mood and the attendance, they're mainly soldiers.
Nothing, that's all. What good is it now? Leningrad after Lenin, apparently. It's not known who this Lenin was anyway. And what is Lenin? A last name or what? A pseudonym? Nothing.
A pivotal figure in this whole debate was the charismatic, popular mayor of Leningrad, Anatoly Sobchak. Throughout the name change campaign, he was a forceful voice in favor of changing the name back to St. Petersburg. On Election Day, hours away from what turned out to be a win for the pro-St. Petersburg forces, Sobchak put his city's past and present into balance.
For us, this is not a political step, it is a purely symbolic step. I would say it's more like a psychological one. We are talking about the rebirth of the city. We are talking about the rebirth of its buildings, about the rebirth of the soul of St. Petersburg, about the rebirth of our moral principles, about the rebirth of religion, about the rebirth of St. Petersburg, our city, as the spiritual center of Russia, as the religious center of Russia.